In life, there are moments when staying in a particular situation feels like a slow erosion of your spirit, gradually eating away at your joy, health, and sense of self. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a silent indication that change is necessary. Whether you are in a relationship where respect is lacking, a job that drains you without offering satisfaction, or caught in a cycle of obligation and guilt that leaves you empty, it is time to reconsider your path. Today, we will explore 9 specific scenarios where walking away is not just an option. It is an act of courage and self-respect. We will see how making these difficult decisions, guided by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, can lead to significant personal growth and a life aligned with your true values. By the end of this video, you will have a clearer understanding of when to let go, how to embrace new opportunities, and why sometimes the most courageous choice is to walk away. If you find value in what we share, please hit the subscribe button and watch the entire video for information you won't want to miss. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, whether personal or professional. When respect begins to fade, it is felt in every interaction. Maybe your ideas are dismissed in meetings, your partner talks over you, or your friends ignore your boundaries. These seemingly insignificant actions accumulate over time, eroding your self-esteem and making you feel invisible. It is like standing on an unstable foundation that could collapse at any moment. The Stoics teach us that our self-esteem should not be dictated by the opinions or actions of others, but maintaining this mindset is difficult when surrounded by disrespect. In a job where respect is lacking, you might notice a decline in your enthusiasm and productivity. Your contributions go unnoticed, or worse, someone else takes credit for your hard work. This is not just a blow to your professional pride, it is a signal that you are not valued in this environment. The same goes for personal relationships. When your partner, family, or friends do not treat you with the respect you deserve, it is not just hurtful, it is toxic. It can make you doubt your worth and put immense pressure on your mental health. Walking away from such situations is not about giving up. It is about reclaiming your dignity and self-esteem. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. While you cannot control how others treat you, you can choose to walk away from environments that do not respect you. It is an act of self-preservation, a statement that you deserve better. By walking away, you are not only protecting your mental and emotional well-being, but you are also setting a powerful precedent for future interactions. You are telling yourself and the world that you will not tolerate disrespect. This decision requires immense strength and self-awareness, but it creates space in your life for relationships and opportunities that align with your values and elevate you. Consider this: every moment spent in a place where you are not respected is a moment less to find and build a life where you are valued and appreciated. It is not just about leaving negativity behind. It is about opening doors to positive and respectful environments. This act of walking away is a profound step towards personal growth and empowerment. Respect is non-negotiable. It is the foundation of any meaningful interaction. So, when you find yourself in a situation where respect is lacking, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control and have the courage to walk away. Your self-respect and inner peace are worth more than staying in an environment that diminishes you. We have all experienced situations where we have given our all and felt that it goes barely noticed or not appreciated at all. Whether at work, in a friendship, or within your family, being taken for granted is incredibly frustrating. You put in extra hours without counting, go out of your way to help a friend or constantly support your loved ones, only to see your efforts met with indifference or taken for granted. It is exhausting and can leave you completely drained. When your hard work and dedication are not recognized, it is a clear sign that something needs to change. At work, this can look like constant extra effort without even a thank you or recognition from your boss. Your contributions become expected rather than valued, and soon you find yourself burning out. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on our own virtues and actions rather than seeking validation from others. However, it is important to recognize when an environment is consistently ungrateful, as this can lead to long-term dissatisfaction and a decrease in self-esteem. In personal relationships, being taken for granted can be even more painful. Imagine always being the one who plans outings, offers support, or makes sacrifices, only for these gestures to go unnoticed. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment and a feeling of emptiness. You might start to wonder why you put in so much effort when it is not reciprocated or appreciated. It's not about seeking constant praise, but about mutual respect and recognition. Leaving situations where you are taken for granted is a powerful act of self-respect. It's not about being selfish, it's about understanding your own worth and refusing to accept less than you deserve. The Stoics remind us that we should not depend on others' approval for our sense of worth. By distancing yourself from environments where your efforts are undervalued, you make room for opportunities and relationships that truly recognize and appreciate your contributions. Allow me to share a personal story that perfectly illustrates these Stoic principles. A few years ago, I found myself in a job that on paper seemed perfect. It offered a good salary, benefits, and the prestige of working for a well-known company. However, over time, I began to feel increasingly dissatisfied. The job demanded long hours, and the work environment was highly competitive and stressful. Despite my efforts to improve the situation, suggesting new projects, working extra hours, and trying to foster a more collaborative atmosphere, nothing seemed to change. I felt a constant sense of exhaustion and frustration. My health began to suffer as I faced chronic stress and sleepless nights. Despite my best efforts, the toxic environment remained unchanged, and I started to doubt my abilities and self-worth. I reached a point where I realized that no matter how much I invested in this job, it was not going to get better. One night, after another long, exhausting day, I remembered the teachings of the Stoics. I reflected on what I could control: my actions, my reactions, and my decisions. I couldn't control the toxic work environment or my colleagues' actions, but I could control whether I stayed in that environment or not. I knew I had to make a difficult decision for the sake of my well-being. With a mix of fear and relief, I decided to leave the job. It wasn't an easy decision. I worried about what others would think and how I would explain my decision to leave a seemingly perfect job. However, I reminded myself of the Stoic principle of living in accordance with my true nature and values. My peace of mind and health were far more important than external validation. After leaving the job, I took the time to reflect on what truly mattered to me. I reconnected with my passions and interests that had been set aside during my stressful job. I started freelancing, which allowed me to have a better work-life balance and pursue projects that I was truly passionate about. Gradually, I felt my sense of self return, and I began to feel more fulfilled and content. This experience taught me the importance of knowing when to leave. By letting go of a situation that no longer served me, I created space for new opportunities and relationships that were in alignment with my true self. I realized that leaving is not a sign of failure, but an act of self-respect and wisdom. So, if you find yourself in a similar situation, feeling stuck, unappreciated, or disconnected from your true self, remember that you have the power to change. Reflect on what you can control, and don't be afraid to leave situations that no longer serve you. By doing so, you will open up the possibility of a life more aligned with your values and passions, bringing you closer to true fulfillment and happiness. This decision can be difficult. There is often a fear of the unknown. What if you leave and don't find a better job or lose a friend? But staying in a place where you are not valued can be far more damaging in the long run. It is a slow erosion of your self-esteem and happiness. The Stoics would advise us to act according to our principles and values, even if it means making tough choices. Prioritize your own well-being and growth over the comfort of familiarity. Imagine redirecting your energy towards people and places that truly value you. This change not only boosts your morale, but also aligns your life with the principles of mutual respect and appreciation. It's about creating a balanced dynamic where your efforts are recognized and reciprocated. This balance is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and a positive self-image. By moving away from being taken for granted, you set a standard for how you expect to be treated. It's a declaration of your personal worth and a step towards a more fulfilling life. You deserve to be in environments where your efforts are recognized and valued. Remember, as the Stoics teach us, your worth is inherent and should not depend on the recognition of others. Hold firmly to this belief and do not be afraid to distance yourself from those who fail to appreciate what you bring. Your health is your most precious asset. It is the foundation upon which the rest of your life is built. When you find yourself in a situation that negatively affects your mental or physical health, it is a clear signal that something needs to change. We often push through stress, anxiety, and physical tension, thinking it is just part of life. But when these issues become chronic, they are alarm signals that should not be ignored. Stoic philosophy teaches us to recognize what is within our control and what is not, emphasizing the importance of maintaining our inner peace and well-being. Consider a job that demands more from you than you can healthily give. Long hours, constant pressure, and a toxic work environment can lead to burnout, stress, and even serious health issues like insomnia or hypertension. Your body and mind can only bear so much before they start to deteriorate. It is crucial to heed these warning signs and act before it is too late. The Stoics believed in the importance of balance and moderation, and pushing beyond one's limits is a clear violation of these principles. In personal relationships, the stakes are just as high. If you are in a situation where constant conflict, neglect, or emotional abuse affects your mental health, it is essential to recognize the harm being done. Anxiety, depression, and the feeling of being trapped can all result from staying in a toxic relationship. The Stoics teach us to value our inner tranquility and to avoid those who disrupt it. Remember, the path to a Stoic life is a continuous process of growth and self-improvement. Every decision to prioritize your health and values brings you closer to living a life of true fulfillment and peace. Thank you for joining me today and being part of the Simple Philosophy community. If you are eager to delve deeper into these principles or explore further how Stoicism can transform your life, please check out the suggested videos on your screen now. Together, let's continue to grow, reflect, and adopt the Stoic path to a more fulfilling and tranquil life. Imagine the freedom and empowerment that come from living a life fully aligned with your values. When you make decisions that reflect your principles, you build a solid foundation of self-respect and trust. You become someone others can trust and rely on, not because you always do what is easy, but because you consistently do what is right. The Stoics believed that this kind of integrity was the key to true happiness and fulfillment. It is important to recognize that compromising your values, even in seemingly insignificant ways, can have a cumulative effect. Each time you act against your principles, it becomes a little easier to do so again, leading to a slippery slope that can ultimately distance you from your true self. By taking a stand and distancing yourself from situations that require you to compromise your values, you make a powerful statement about who you are and what you stand for. This act of courage and integrity can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change. When we stop evolving, we begin to feel stagnant and dissatisfied. It's like being stuck in a rut where each day feels like a monotonous repetition of the previous one. Whether in your career, personal life, or hobbies, reaching a plateau where you are no longer learning or growing can be incredibly frustrating. The Stoics believed in the constant pursuit of wisdom and self-improvement, viewing life as a journey of continuous growth. When you are no longer moving forward, it is a clear sign that something needs to change. Consider your career. There may have been a time when your work was challenging and exciting, filled with opportunities to learn new skills and advance. But now, you feel like you are just going through the motions. There are no new challenges, no room for advancement, and no excitement. This lack of growth can lead to a deep sense of discontent and boredom. The Stoics teach us to strive for excellence in everything we do and to seek opportunities for growth and improvement. If your current job does not provide these opportunities, it may be time to explore new paths that reignite your passion and curiosity. In your personal life, the absence of growth can also be a significant issue. Relationships, for example, should be dynamic and evolving, helping both partners grow and become better versions of themselves. If you find that your relationships are stagnant, Where interactions seem repetitive and uninspiring, it may be time to reassess. The same goes for your personal interests and hobbies. If a hobby that once brought you joy and excitement now feels dull and routine, it's a sign that you need to seek new avenues for growth and learning. The Stoics valued the pursuit of knowledge and personal development, and they would encourage you to continually seek experiences that challenge and inspire you. Distancing yourself from situations where you no longer learn or grow is an act of self-care and wisdom. It is about recognizing your potential and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. The Stoics believe that our time on earth is limited and that we should use it wisely, constantly striving to improve ourselves and better understand the world. By seeking new opportunities and challenges, you honor this principle and make the most of your life. Imagine the excitement and fulfillment that come from a constant state of growth and learning. When you challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone, you open up a world of possibilities. You develop new skills, gain new perspectives, and become more resilient and adaptable. This continuous growth not only enhances your professional and personal life, but also contributes to your overall well-being and happiness. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with your nature, which includes the desire to learn and grow. It is important to recognize that growth often requires leaving behind what is familiar and comfortable. This can be daunting, but it is a necessary step to reach your full potential. The Stoics taught that discomfort and challenge are essential to personal development. By embracing change and seeking new experiences, you cultivate resilience and strength. This willingness to grow and learn reflects your commitment to living a fulfilling and meaningful life. As you continue this journey, remember that every decision to prioritize growth and integrity brings you closer to the life you envision. The path may be difficult, but the rewards, inner peace, fulfillment, and a deeper connection with your true self are well worth it. Thank you for joining me today and being part of the Simple Philosophy community. If you are eager to delve deeper into these principles or explore further how Stoicism can transform your life, please check out the suggested videos on your screen now. Together, let's continue to grow, reflect, and embrace the Stoic path to a more fulfilling and tranquil life. In a situation where trust has been seriously betrayed, constant doubt, anxiety, and emotional torment can significantly impact your mental and physical health. The Stoics encourage us to cultivate inner peace and maintain our integrity, which often means making difficult decisions for our well-being. Staying in a situation solely out of guilt or obligation can be incredibly draining and unsatisfying. It's a common scenario. We often feel compelled to stay in jobs, relationships, or commitments because we feel guilty about leaving or believe it's our duty to stay. However, when your primary reason for staying is guilt or obligation, it's a sign that it's time to reassess your situation. The Stoics teach us to live in accordance with our true nature and to act with authentic intention, not under external pressure or misplaced guilt. Think of a job where you feel obligated to stay because you don't want to disappoint your colleagues or because you fear the judgment of others. Maybe the work no longer brings you joy or aligns with your career goals, but the idea of leaving fills you with guilt. You might worry about the additional workload your departure would impose on your team or fear disappointing your boss. However, staying in a role that no longer serves you out of duty can lead to resentment and burnout. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your inner values and recognizing that you have control over your own decisions, not over the opinions or expectations of others. In personal relationships, guilt and obligation can be even more powerful. You might stay in a friendship or romantic relationship because you feel responsible for the other person's happiness, or because you've been together for a long time. You might fear that leaving will hurt them or feel that you owe it to them to stay. However, if the relationship is no longer healthy or fulfilling for you, staying out of obligation is not fair to either party. The Stoics remind us that authentic relationships are based on mutual respect and voluntary commitment, not on guilt or a sense of duty. It's important to act with integrity and honesty, both towards yourself and others. Walking away from situations where you stay only out of guilt or obligation is an act of self-respect and authenticity. It means recognizing that your time and energy are precious and that you deserve to dedicate them to things that are meaningful and fulfilling to you. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our actions and decisions, and to let go of what we cannot control, such as the reactions of others. By prioritizing your own well-being and making decisions based on your true desires and values, you live in accordance with Stoic principles. Imagine the freedom and fulfillment that come from making choices that align with your true self. When you set aside guilt and obligation, you create space in your life for opportunities and relationships that truly resonate with you. This shift can lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and personal growth. The Stoics believe that living a virtuous life involves making choices that reflect your core values and pursuing what truly matters to you, rather than being influenced by external pressures. It is important to recognize that leaving a situation out of guilt or obligation can be difficult. There may be initial discomfort and tough conversations, but ultimately, it is a step towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this process with courage and wisdom, understanding that true contentment comes from living in harmony with your inner principles. By making decisions that honor your true self, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and integrity. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, whether it is a friendship, a romantic partnership, or a professional connection. Trust is what allows us to feel safe and valued. When trust is seriously broken, it can feel like the ground has been pulled out from under you. This breach can take many forms: deceit, betrayal, or dishonesty, and it often leaves deep emotional scars. The Stoics emphasize the importance of honesty and integrity, teaching us that our character is defined by our actions and the trust we build with others. When trust is broken, it is a signal that something fundamental has changed in the relationship. Imagine discovering that a close friend has spread false rumors about you, or finding out that your partner has been unfaithful. These breaches of trust are not only hurtful, they fundamentally alter the dynamics of the relationship. It becomes difficult, if not impossible, to continue interacting with the same level of openness and vulnerability. The Stoics would advise us to confront such situations with clarity and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, for example, taught that we must accept the reality of the world and the actions of others, but we must also act to protect our inner peace and integrity. In a professional setting, a serious breach of trust might involve a colleague taking credit for your work or a superior making false promises. These actions can undermine your confidence and create a toxic work environment. When you can no longer trust the people you work with, it is difficult to stay motivated and engaged. The Stoics remind us that we must act with honor and integrity, regardless of the actions of others. If trust is broken in a way that compromises your ability to do your job effectively and ethically, it may be time to consider leaving. Walking away from a relationship or situation where trust has been seriously broken is not about avoiding challenges. It is about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. It is about recognizing that trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, while accepting that we cannot change others. By choosing to leave, you are making the decision to prioritize your own integrity and peace of mind. Consider the long-term effects of staying in a situation where trust has been seriously broken. Constant doubt, anxiety, and emotional turmoil can significantly impact your mental and physical health. The Stoics encourage us to cultivate inner peace and maintain our integrity, which often means making difficult decisions for our well-being. As we continue this journey of personal growth and self-respect, remember that every step you take to align your actions with your values and integrity is a step towards a more fulfilling and peaceful life. The Stoics offer us timeless wisdom to navigate these challenges, emphasizing the importance of living a life true to our principles and maintaining our inner peace. Thank you for joining me today and being part of the Simple Philosophy community. If you are eager to delve deeper into these principles or explore further how Stoicism can transform your life, Please check out the suggested videos on your screen now. Together, let's continue to grow, reflect, and embrace the Stoic path towards a more fulfilling and peaceful life. In a situation where trust has been compromised, constant doubt and anxiety can significantly impact your mental health. You might find yourself constantly questioning the actions and motivations of the other person, which can be exhausting and debilitating. The Stoics would encourage you to value your inner peace above all. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that our peace of mind should not be sacrificed to maintain a relationship that no longer serves us. Imagine the relief and fulfillment that come from leaving a situation where trust has been broken. By walking away, you open the possibility of new, healthier relationships based on mutual respect and trust. You also send a powerful message to yourself and others about your self-esteem and the standards you expect in your interactions. The Stoics believed in a life of virtue and authenticity, and part of that is surrounding yourself with people who share those same values. It is important to recognize that walking away from a breach of trust can be incredibly difficult. It may involve tough conversations and the loss of a relationship that meant a lot to you. However, it is crucial to remember that your well-being and integrity are paramount. The Stoics teach us to face these challenges with courage and wisdom, understanding that sometimes the most virtuous path is also the most difficult. Losing yourself can be one of the most disorienting and painful experiences. It often happens gradually over time as you prioritize the needs and expectations of others over your own. You might wake up one day and realize you no longer recognize the person looking back at you in the mirror. This loss of self can occur in various aspects of life, relationships, careers, social circles, and it leaves you with a feeling of emptiness and disconnection. The Stoics emphasize the importance of knowing oneself and living in accordance with one's true nature. When you lose sight of who you are, it's a signal that a fundamental change is necessary. Think of a relationship where you have constantly compromised your own desires and values to maintain peace or to please your partner. Over time, you may find that you have molded yourself to meet someone else's expectations, neglecting your own identity in the process. This can lead to a profound sense of loss and confusion. The Stoics teach us to value our true self and to live authentically. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we should not let our lives be governed by the expectations of others, but that we should stay true to our own principles and nature. In your career, losing yourself can happen when you are so focused on climbing the corporate ladder or meeting external definitions of success that you forget why you started in the first place. You might find yourself in a role that looks great on paper, but leaves you feeling dissatisfied and disconnected from your passions. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on what truly matters to you and to ensure that your work aligns with your values and interests. It is important to seek roles and environments that allow you to be your true self and to contribute meaningfully. Social circles and friendships can also contribute to this loss of self. If you are surrounded by people whose values and lifestyles do not resonate with you, it is easy to start conforming to fit in. Over time, this can erode your sense of identity. The Stoics believed in the importance of choosing your companions wisely and ensuring that your relationships reflect your true self. Seneca advised seeking friendships based on mutual respect and shared values, as these relationships help us grow and stay true to who we are. Walking away from situations where you have lost yourself is an act of courage and self-rediscovery. It is about reclaiming your identity and living in accordance with your true nature. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our decisions, and how we choose to live our lives. By walking away from environments that suppress your true self, you create space for growth and self-exploration. This journey of rediscovery allows you to reconnect with your passions, values, and the things that bring you joy. Imagine the freedom and fulfillment that come from living authentically. When you let go of the need to conform and embrace your true self, you feel a sense of liberation. You start attracting relationships that resonate with who you truly are, rather than what others expect of you. This alignment with your authentic self brings a deeper sense of satisfaction and contentment. You start attracting relationships and opportunities that align with who you truly are. This authenticity not only enhances your own well-being, but also positively impacts those around you. Stoics believe that living in accordance with your true nature is essential for a virtuous and fulfilling life. It is important to recognize that reclaiming yourself can be a challenging process. It may involve difficult decisions and leaving behind people or situations that were once comfortable. However, it is a necessary step to live a life that truly reflects your values and passions. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this journey with courage and self-compassion, understanding that true contentment comes from living in harmony with your inner self. Reaching a point where you have done everything in your power but still see no progress or positive change can be incredibly discouraging. It is that moment of exhaustion where, despite all your efforts, the situation remains stubbornly the same. This feeling can arise in various aspects of life: relationships, careers, or personal projects. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. When you have given your all and the outcome has not changed, it may be time to recognize that it is not a reflection of your worth or efforts, but rather a sign that it is time to move on. Consider a relationship where you have tried every possible way to communicate, repair, and make things work. You have been patient, empathetic, and have done the hard work to resolve conflicts. But despite your best efforts, the relationship remains unsatisfying or toxic. This can be incredibly draining, both emotionally and mentally. The Stoics remind us that our responsibility is towards our own actions and intentions, not the actions or responses of others. If your efforts are not reciprocated or recognized, it is a clear indication that continuing to stay could cause more harm than good. In your professional life, there may be a project or role where you have invested a lot of time and energy. You have implemented new strategies, worked extra hours, and dedicated yourself to improving things. Yet the results do not meet your expectations, and there is no sign of improvement. This can lead to burnout and frustration. The Stoic approach would be to evaluate the situation objectively, recognizing that while your efforts are commendable, circumstances may be beyond your control. It is important to know when to pivot, seek new opportunities, or even leave completely to protect your well-being and professional growth. Personal projects and goals can also hit a wall where, despite all your hard work and dedication, progress seems impossible. This could be a creative endeavor, a fitness goal, or any personal aspiration. When you have exhausted all avenues and still find yourself stuck, it is easy to fall into a pattern of self-blame and despair. The Stoics would advise reflecting on what you have learned from the process, appreciating your efforts, and understanding that not all efforts are meant to succeed. Sometimes, wisdom lies in recognizing the right time to let go and redirect your energy towards more fruitful pursuits. Quitting after doing everything you can is not a sign of failure. It is an act of self-respect and wisdom. It is about understanding the limits of your influence and making peace with outcomes that are beyond your control. The Stoics believed in the importance of focusing on what truly matters and letting go of what does not. By stepping away from situations that no longer serve you, you create space for new opportunities and experiences that align more closely with your goals and values. Imagine the relief and liberation that come from recognizing that you have done everything within your power. By letting go, you free yourself from the cycle of frustration and disappointment. This act of moving on opens up possibilities for growth, learning, and new beginnings. The Stoics teach us that life is a series of growth opportunities, and that sometimes growth means knowing when to quit. It is crucial to approach this decision with self-compassion and understanding. Quitting does not diminish the value of your efforts or the importance of what you tried to achieve. On the contrary, it highlights your resilience and commitment to living authentically and intentionally. The Stoics would encourage you to see this as part of your journey, a step towards new paths that may offer greater fulfillment and success. In the journey of life, knowing when to quit is a profound act of courage and self-respect. It is about valuing your peace, integrity, and growth above all. Remember, Every step you take towards an authentic life is a step towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life. If you found this video helpful, please comment with the number 1. I am trying to balance my work as a coach with my passion for creating videos on YouTube, and by commenting, you will help me a lot. I invite you to watch one of the suggested videos on the screen for more information and wisdom. Thank you for being part of Simple Philosophy. Stay true to yourself and keep aiming for the best.